Hey, what's good with y'all? It's Thawahgabar for Black Authentic Truth. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for supporting me. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel like always. Listen, man, I got some things lined up. I got about 5 different topics I want to go over. And we're going to definitely get into it. We're going to get into it, break down some things. I might bring out a precept. I will bring out a precept from the Bible. And yeah, we're just going to get it rocking and rolling, okay? So first, what I want to talk about is the story that the House of Representatives have passed a measure that automatically will draft or register men from the age of 18 to 26 into the selective service. Now, if you don't know what the selective service is, the selective service is separate from the government and is just a organization or a process of lining up potential soldiers in case of a war that is just going to pop out of the blue, because right now people have to volunteer for it and they want to make sure they have it locked in. And not only that, with the selective service, well, them passing this measure, they also proposed that women be registered in the selective service. Okay. They have proposed that even women, now it's already written in stone for men, but for women, they have proposed that maybe they should do it too. They have said, listen, maybe you should consider women being put in selective service also. That's the proposal, right? But for men, this is something that is they're being automatically put into the selective service, whereas before you would have to register, but it was always under you volunteering. And that is how the military is from people volunteering, people deciding to go to the military. Most brothers and sisters that go to the military, right? Good looking out, Kalamaz Boffin. Let me just put that in there right real quick. Let me just put that in. Let me drop this real quick. Let me get this real quick. Let me get right back. So before we get all the way into it, many people have asked me for the Black Authentic Truth shirt, and I've been working on a line, and this is the line. Now, right here is what I'm gonna show you. Is some of y'all probably seen this before. This is the Strange Fruit series right here, okay? And so the first shirt that I got is George Stinney. Many of y'all probably know who George Stinney is. Strange Fruit. And actually, the first shirt I started with is Billie Holiday, right? Billie Holiday, y'all know the song Strange Fruit. And in that song, she talks about strange fruit, meaning brothers and sisters, bodies hanging from a tree. Okay. So this one right here was the first one. The George Stinney was the second one. Okay. You know about George Stinney? George Stinney was the youngest person at 14 years old to be put in the execution chair. And 70 years later, they exonerated him. They said he wasn't guilty. strange fruit. Now, recently I did the video on Willie Francis. Willie Francis also is in this series, Strange Fruit. Willie Francis was sent to the electric chair for a crime he didn't commit, and he didn't die the first time. And his attorney argued that it was cruel and unusual punishment to execute him again. Well, they executed him again, right? So that's the Strange Fruit line. And these shirts are shirts that could spark a conversation, because many times people are going to ask you, who is Willie Francis? Who is George Stinney? What does that shirt mean with Billie Holiday on it? You'll be surprised how many people don't know. You'll be surprised how many people have never heard of these stories. And then that is a teaching moment. It's a teaching moment, right? Now, what we have here is what I got on right now. The Black Authentic Truth shirt in the red, right? And y'all seen me wear these shirts. Y'all seen me wear these in different videos, right? I got it in that sun yellow. This really, really pops, right? And then I got it in that royal blue, that Dodger blue. You know what I mean? Right here, Dodger blue. And of course, if y'all want the icon, the black icon, I got it in black. In black. I got it in black, right? So that's what I'm working with on that line right there. I'm working with that. If y'all want to get a shirt, right now I'm building a store, but if you want to get a shirt, I'll make these myself. You want to get a shirt, you can hit me up on Thawahgabar on Facebook. I'll put it in the description of this video. You can also hit me up. You can hit me up on Instagram, Black Authentic Truth Instagram. Direct message me and we can communicate like that. I get your size, I get the color, and we'll go forward with that until I get everything situated with an online store. But yeah, let's get back to the story. Now, with the selective service, as I was saying, they are basically, it's written in stone for men to go into the selective service, right? To be registered automatically. But for women, it's a proposal. So they're saying like maybe women should go too. In the United States, and this is the thing about Black people, what you got to understand is that there are battles and wars going on right now, but you're too busy scrolling on your phone, reading comments, and you don't know what's really going on in the world. I think we should focus on what's going on in the world. We should be like, we want to know what's going on with your favorite celebrity, what's going on with the beef with this rapper. What about the beef between, Russia and Ukraine, Iran and Israel? We got to pay attention. You don't want to be that person sitting there, right? You don't want to be that person with a goddamn blunt in your mouth sitting there and missiles start landing everywhere, and you don't know what's going on. You don't even know that it was about to be a war. Well, here's your precursor right here. They want men, they automatically put in 18-year-old men from the age of 18-year-old to 26 in the selective service, meaning they're looking at, they're going to save money because usually they spend a lot of money on their budget to advertise to you to join. They said, the hell with that. We're just going to put you in there. But how is that going to work for Black people? And think about the social issues and the things that Black people deal with already in America. Think about all the things you have to deal with already in America, whereas you will now be put in this draft to go fight for a country that has shown time and time again that it don't love you. All right. But let me get I'm gonna pull up a video. Now y'all remember in the Vietnam War, Black people were against the Vietnam War. They were against young Black men going into a war. Not only that wasn't their fight, but they're going to fight another people they don't know. And then when they get back home, they get treated how they've been getting treated. It didn't mean anything to go fight for your country. Still today, it don't mean anything. Where's the proof of what I'm saying? What is the proof of what I'm saying? Where can you find the proof? You can find it everywhere. You can find it with a brother that just got uh shot and killed answering his door by the police. U.S. airman. Roger, I'm sorry. What's his name? Roger. I did a story on him. It's so many brothers and sisters that go into the military and they get treated horribly. Are they even is foul play even inside the military? A lot of sisters have died inside the military. A lot of them. And a lot of times our people come back and they're decorated. Uh the brother's name is Roger Fortson, I believe. They're decorated. They serve their country. They have a high rank. They did everything they were supposed to do in the military, and they come home to be treated the same way. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Well, that's how people felt in the Vietnam War. That's how Black people felt. And so I'm gonna play this video so you can actually see how Black people in Harlem felt about Black men being drafted going to fight in Vietnam.
Supposed to be rewarded?
No, I mean, do you think the black man's going to be rewarded if he shows bravery?
No. When a black man get back here, he's going to be just like he was before he left.
Hmm?
How do you see in the papers where the black man have a white man over his shoulder and saving him and everything else? When that black man come back here, he can't take that same white man over his shoulder.
How do you think things are going to change? Are they ever going to change?
No.
No?
We going to change it.
Well, why weren't you marching today, then? Can you tell
I'm
us that?
going. I'm
Did you catch what she said? She said when a Black man, he's over there in the military and he's over there in the war, and they have pictures in the newspaper where you see a Black man with a white soldier, a Black soldier with a white soldier over his, helping him out, pulling him out of the war with him on his shoulder. She said when he come home, he can't put that same white man over his shoulder. Meaning Black people was upset at how their people was getting done back at home. So why go out there and fight a war against another people that don't even have no issue with you as a Black person, but you got to fight a war right here. That's what Muhammad Ali said. Remember, he was drafted and he didn't go. And now even with this selective service, what they are saying is that you will have to basically, if you don't go, it's a felony. If you are drafted and you don't go, it's a felony. You go to jail. And I said, well, I guess my sons are going to get a felony. Because why should you? And let me just say this. My oldest son just graduated out of high school. He was the second highest in the ROTC program. It's a program, some of y'all know what it is. It's a military program in high school. They offered him a job, a salary job, to come back to the high school and teach the class. Okay, he was in charge of a lot of things, preparing, figuring out what they were going to eat. They would go to camp in the mountains, figuring out what they're going to eat. Just in charge. And even with all of that and everything that he knows, and I done taught him, he wouldn't go into the military. Like I said, if it came down to that, because this affects everyone who have every Black person that has boys and girls, potentially girls under the age of 18, moving forward, this will affect your family. Well, I said, well, hell, I guess my sons will have felonies, and it won't be the type of felony that I got for foolishness. It'll be one that's standing on your square and understanding that it's no point in fighting for a country that has never loved you. I'm sorry, but it ain't never loved us like that. And it's no disrespect to anybody who has won. Like when we was growing up, and this has happened for a lot of Black people, to go into the military was something like, because I wanted to go into the Navy. Unfortunately, I had some things going on in court that I couldn't go. But I initially went and took that test and I passed that test. But the way they advertise it as black people and brown people coming out of the ghetto, you're just trying to make something of yourself. You want to, make something of yourself and make people proud and have honor and dignity. So that is the first thing you think about when you ain't got nothing else going for you, where you can't get a job, where it's hard to get a job. And so you go into the military to make something out of yourself. That's why you would go, because the way they advertise it is you can get the GI Bill, you can be all you can be. You could be a soldier, you'll be somebody that people will respect, and people will look at you with honor and dignity. But that's not how it happens with black people. It's so many stories where we've been treated subhuman, even with the uniform on. I just read the Black Authentic Truth story of Isaac Woodard, where his eyes was gouged out, and he's wearing his suit, and he got treated like that in America. And we're talking about at a time where you would think like, wow, you went and served their country, you deserve all the respect. But that's not how it goes with us. It's not. We died in every war. We fought in every war in America, and we still got treated like dogs. All right, let me just play some more of this. I didn't mean to stop it. Let me go.
Believe me, I'm going to march. Because I might not live to see it, but my children will live to see it. I'm not going to let that. You and everybody else took everything away from us. And we're going to get it back. Believe me when we say we're going to get it back.
And you think this march will help you to get it back?
It's a piece. It's a step forward.
You don't see black people like this anymore. You hear what that sister said? You don't. I mean, when it comes to black women, you don't see black women this bold anymore. She said, "Yo, you took everything from us, and we're gonna get it back." You just don't see. And I'm not. This is because this is a sister. Why I say you don't see black women like I think about black women today, or I think about black men or black people in general. That old generation was more realer than we are today. You'll never hear a black woman talking like this to a white woman. It's very rare. I'm not gonna say you will never hear it. I'm just saying it's very rare. And how strongly we felt, and how strongly we felt to voice our opinions and the truth. I'm gonna keep talking, y'all. I'm sorry.
You got the 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. You can't just bottom to the top.
What do you think about this question of patriotism? That you should be patriotic and send your kids to fight over in Vietnam?
No. Well, for what? For what? What we got to be patriotic for? What you gave us? You didn't give us nothing. Why should we keep and fight for you? You all got the best parks, the best house, the best of everything. When we get it, we have to stop and pay all of our salary for rent.
She said, why should we be patriotic? She said, y'all got the best of everything. And then when we go to work and we got to pay all of our money just to survive, just for rent.
To halfway get a decent place to live. I got a house that is full of so much rats, it ain't funny.
Man,
and I'm working every day. And I'm working for the state. For the United States government that don't even give me nothing. And I got to pay all that rent for rats to come eat the rat food. I put the rat food out there, and when I wake up in the morning, the rat food is gone. I don't know where the rats went. Maybe they live better than I do, but the rat food is gone.
You're going to be marching today, sir.
Oh, no. You tell that white man to clean that house.
You're going to march?
Tell that white man to fix them holes.
I had about 60 days left, 64, 65 days left to do in the Nam, down south. And I was singing a song that I had made up from, another tune. And it was, soon I'll be going back to where the rats and the roaches roam. And this guy who was next to me said to me, what do you mean? You got rats in your house? So I turned to him, and he was a hunk. I turned to him and I said, yeah, I got rats and roaches in my house. Don't you have any in yours? And he said to me, no. He said he'd never seen a rat. And it started me thinking, because soon I would be going back home and he would be going back home. I would be going back to the rats and the roaches because I knew they were there. And if you come home right now, you can hear them. If you're eating in my kitchen, you'll hear them talking. And, and he would be going back to his nice California pad. And for me, the problem would begin again. And for him, there would be no problem.
What do you think of it?
Said was basically, you know, his life was not going to change by serving in the military. He would be going back to the ghetto, to poverty, while the white man that he was with in the regiment, he'll be going back to his nice home. He grew up not seeing rats and roaches. He grew up in a place where he's never seen a rat. Meanwhile, the brother, he making songs about, oh, I'm gonna go back and, you know, go back home where the rats and the roaches roam. But he realized that we're in two different worlds. We live two different lives. And I'm putting all this effort and all of this in Vietnam, fighting the people that ain't never gave me a problem. I don't have an issue with me. But then reality dawns to say, well, I'm gonna go back to where the problem begins again when I go back home. But you don't have the issues and the problems that I have. And they expect our people to be patriotic. This is your ancestor right here that I just showed. These are your ancestors and how they felt about black men being drafted in the Vietnam War. And I say it all the time. Our people back then, we're talking about Vietnam War, but I'll go all the way back to slavery. They had more guts, more cojones, whatever you want to call it. They were stronger than us. They wasn't whitewashed, and they weren't whitewashed. They weren't how can I say, they just knew what time it was, and we don't know what time it is right now. We don't have a clue. We don't have a clue. I'm gonna keep playing. This is a mother, and she's asked, how does she feel about the war? How does she feel about their sons going to fight this war in Vietnam?
Demonstration. What do you think of the demonstration?
I'm gonna tell you, I got a son, and I swear I don't want him to go over there.
You don't want him to be in
No, and I feel just like the rest of the mother feel. They don't want their child to go over in Vietnam, and I really don't want mine to go.
Think that's what it's all about?
Yeah.
That's the only reason you're...
That's the only reason. 'Cause I'm a mother that's like everybody. I know they feel the same way like I feel.
Why do you think that the black people are demonstrating against the war?
Because more black going over there than any other color.
You hear that? She first said she's a mother and she has a son and she does not want her son to be out there in that war. And then she ended by saying it's more why black people are against it is because it's more of us. It was more of us going into that war. I got a brother, Kazak Yao was telling me he had did some research on the Vietnam War. And what he was saying was that in the Vietnam War, they would have black men walk point. Meaning like when you're in infantry and you're on the ground level, they would have black men, they would put the black man in the front. So the black men will be the first casualties and the highest casualties in the Vietnam War. Not only that, because if you scored low on that test to enter, right, that first test you take, they would automatically usually put you in infantry. And so a lot of brothers are coming from a place of they coming from the hood, they coming from poor educated schools, so they wouldn't score high on these tests, and you'll end up in infantry. And then when you get in infantry, then when you're out there in the field, they put you in harm's way first. Okay. Then you come back home to heroin. They done put heroin in the community. You come back home to the same racism that was there when you left. You come back home to the same roaches and rats and the same thing going on with your people and how they are treated in America. But you're supposed to be patriotic. Right? I hope somebody getting the point. I hope somebody getting it. Now, when it comes to this selective service, this draft, it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if a war breaks out? How are you going to feel as a Black mother, as a Black father? How are you going to feel when your son or daughter has to go? I already told y'all what I'm gonna do. My sons are just gonna get a felony on their record. And it's not about our people being cowards or not want to fight. If anything, we should be fighting for ourselves. If anything, we should band together and have our own military. If anything, we should get into the army of the Lord. We should fight a righteous fight for our people, for the injustices of our people. We should be organized for the injustices of our people instead of going and fighting the people that you don't even know. This is a fight. This would be a fight between two races of people that you're not involved in, but because you're here in America. So you go over there and get blown to smithereens and lose limbs and legs and everything for what? I don't know if you noticed, have you seen how America treats its veterans? For the men of valor and the men that go to war? I see them in downtown LA living in tents. I see them everywhere living in tents. I see them in the hood on crack cocaine. I remember I met a brother. He was he was on drugs, but he was cool. He had a good spirit, and I had the opportunity to talk to him. And he was an older brother. He said he had been in the Vietnam War, and then it just opened my eyes, and I understood why he was the way he was. He was an older man that was on drugs, running the streets and everything. And when I actually got to talk to him, I was like, damn, well, if you was in the Vietnam War, I can't imagine the things that you saw and what you experienced, and then how you're treated once you come back to America. Right. And I'll say that again, our forefathers, our ancestors, they died and fought in every war. We're the only people that really actually forgive other people for what they done and then stand on the front line and fight for them. We're the only people that do that. We stand on the front line and fight for them. Renee Gaines said, I used to work at a veteran hospital and it was terrible how they treat them. Exactly. Got 7 people in here, man. Make sure you like the video, please. But what you're saying, Renee, is I've seen the stories. I've seen it in real life, and I've seen the stories on how they treat people, veterans, people that fought for the country and the freedoms. These are the same freedoms. Peep this. These people, how they treat the veterans. These are the same people that Donald Trump called Colin Kaepernick a son of a bee over. So you disrespecting the flag by kneeling during the Pledge of Allegiance. You're disrespecting our soldiers. You're disrespecting the men and women that fought for the country. Well, look at the men and women that fought for the country. Look how you treat them. Really? No, you just don't like a black man standing up for what's right. You just don't like a black man standing on his 10 toes and saying the hell with a game. What about what y'all doing to my people that we seeing on everybody's cell phones and video? I'm gonna get to that too about us playing sports and what they really love us for, why they really love us, right? So that's about it on that. Let me see. So yesterday, my son, it's a Juneteenth event that I usually go to, and I couldn't go to it. I had to go to Hollywood and raise up my people. Now, while in Hollywood, while I was on the mic speaking, it was two Armenians that came up to me, right? And the Armenian guy, he was listening to what I was saying, and then he said he wanted to talk. And I allowed him to talk. I heard what he had to say. He said that Donald Trump should be in office because he will help black people. He loves black people. I wasn't even talking about politics, but for some reason, he went to that. I guess he sensed that I wasn't happy with the condition of my people. So he said Donald Trump loves black people. If he gets in office, he's better than Biden. I said it's two sides to the same coin. It's two sides to the same evil coin. Our people would get caught up in these politics and Democrat and Republican. You getting caught up in a game that it wasn't even designed for you to play. But our people are wholeheartedly like, yeah, Trump will be better. Biden will be better. When your community never changes. And all of in decades, voting for different presidents. Hell, the one president you thought was a savior, Barack Obama, he opened up more doors for LGBTQ than he did for you. He opened up more doors for LGBTQ than he did for you. That's a bar for black people. He opened up more doors for LGBTQ than he did for you, nigga. Excuse my language, but you know what I'm saying? Like, and so he said that, and I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? And he said that we all the same. And I said, you know what? That sounds real good. But when it comes to black people, yeah, everybody loves us. Everybody likes how cool we are, how dope we are. You know what I mean? How creative and flavorful we are. Everybody wants to be like us and enjoy that part until it's really time to be us, until it's time to be put in those positions, until it's time to be accused of something or shot in the back by the police. Everybody wants to be black. Everybody loves us. They absolutely love us, our style, everything, until it's time to really be us. He didn't have nothing to say on that. He had to walk away. He had to slide on that one. He had to get up. He had to get from in front of my face on that one. Because it's the truth. Everybody, they love us acting a fool. They love us looking a fool. They love, the way, we talk, walk, act, move, but actually getting the treatment that we get, nah, they ain't about that life. They not like us. Nobody is like us, right? Like you said, right. They want to be us, but don't want our struggle. Nobody wants our struggle. Nobody can walk in our shoes. Nobody on this planet can walk in our shoes. Right? So let me see. Talk about Father's Day. It's Father's Day today. It's Father's Day today. Right? It's Father's Day today. Well, I don't, y'all know this. Many people that rock with me, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I don't rock with no holiday. I don't rock with Mother's Day. I don't rock with Father's Day. My phone was blowing up about 2 hours ago. And well, I was doing something. I was preparing for this live and I heard my phone blowing up. And when I finally got my phone, I'm in this group chat with a lot of my old friends that I grew up with. And so I go in the group chat and everybody's just saying, Happy Father's Day, happy to Father's Day to all the brothers and all of that. And I was like, oh, okay, that's what it was. And I just, you know, Father's Day is just a day to me. Mother's Day is just a day to me. Halloween, Christmas is just a day to me because these things was given to me by my oppressors. And listen, if Father's Day, and you can use this same thing for Valentine's Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day. What's another one? Um, I think those are the main ones. You can use this outlook and this perspective for all of them. If it was really genuine, you would do it every day. Like you would say how much you appreciate your father and your mother, not every day, but any day of the year, not just on the day where what is set up by the people who enslaved your ancestors. And this is their custom. Okay. It's nothing wrong with appreciating your mother, your father, whoever you want to appreciate it on any day, except for the day when your slave master have set it up for you. They set it up for you. You wouldn't be actually doing this if it wasn't for your ancestors being on plantations. You would just randomly would just say, hey, mom, I love you. Here's some flowers. Hey, dad, I appreciate everything you've done. I don't know, here's a gift card to go get dinner, or I'll take you out to dinner. Whatever the case may be, it wouldn't be planned. It wouldn't be planned. It wouldn't be planned around a day that is set aside by the people who not only had you enslaved, but still show you in different ways that they don't like you like that. So you're celebrating something for somebody else, and it's not genuine. You know what a real genuine love would be? Spontaneous, out of the blue. It ain't a holiday. It ain't nothing. Here you are, Dad. Here's a gift card. I just want to tell you that I appreciate what you've done. I seen how, you went to work every day hard, and I'm proud of you. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of brothers that don't even deserve to even get that. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, but when it comes to our community, you have to really be honest. And we can be honest with men and women. We can be honest and say this: we're destroyed as a people. When you look at the young women today, destroyed. You look at the young men today, destroyed. I just seen a video. It was a video where, they do those videos now where it's a line of people and they pop the balloon, right? Well, they have one like with rappers. I don't know who the rapper is. I can't remember it. Somebody see this video, you'll probably know who that rapper is. But I guess a girl asked him a question that they wasn't supposed to ask, and he got upset and pulled out a burner and put it to the hostess neck and said, stop playing with me, stop playing with me. Then he walked out and left, and the hostess trying to get him to come back. I don't know who he is, but it's so lame that the emotional thing that young black men go through, where they feel like the answer to all of their problems is to pull out a gun, is to fight, is to take it to life or death. Where do they learn that from? They learned that emotionalism from women. But what they never learned from a man is how to handle your issues and your problems when they arise, how to have temperance, how to not get, wild and crazy, how to be calm in a situation, how to be respectful in a situation, how to pull another brother to the side in a situation. and say, look, bro, you offended me. I don't like how you did that or what you said. I wasn't feeling that. And for the other brothers, to know, I respect that because you pulled me to the side. You didn't just take off on me out of emotion. You didn't just pull a burner out of emotion, being emotional, being be made. You know the word I want to say. Be made. You didn't just do that. So I respect that. These are some of the things that young black men, including myself, didn't learn from other men, fathers, uncles, none of that. And so that is the key to changing our community is black men becoming strong, black men raising up strong young boys, black men raising up boys that use wisdom when they upset. That's the key. And it's not a blame thing because y'all remember the CDC said in 2013 that black men are the best fathers. They spend more time with their children, whether they live in the house or not. Why that ain't getting broadcast? We still living off of stereotypes. I still hear black women saying black men don't take care of their kids. They abandon their kid. What? We're living off of stereotypes in the black community. Literally. But nobody wants to correct it because nobody wants to take accountability. So we're going to keep saying black men abandon their families. The way the reason why brothers is going wild in Chirac is because black men, they left their families. Maybe if they would stay with the woman that they had a child with and not make her a single mother. Meanwhile, guess what white people are saying? Guess the conclusion. I already said it. The conclusion that they came up to. They came up to the conclusion that black men are better fathers than white men and everybody else. They spend more time. They read more with their children. They're more involved with their children, even though they might not even live in the house. I mean, why that's not broadcast to the world? I hear everybody talk down on black men like they don't do this. No, the black men don't do that. The black man that you chose didn't do that. And you as a black man, look, maybe you was goofy and you dealt with a woman that, you just can't work it out. You don't see your way working out. That doesn't mean that you still can't, be an example to your child. Maybe you can't even get around your child. Maybe there's a restraining order on your child, but what you can do is be a righteous brother. That's what you can do. What you can do is live a life that's an example to your child. So your child could say, well, my dad wasn't around, but when I met my dad, he's not on drugs. He's not chasing hoes. He goes to work every day. He's a righteous man. And I'm proud of my dad. Even if you didn't know your child and they got to meet you and they was like, damn, my dad ain't nothing that people was saying he was. Or he's not like how he used to be, according to what I heard he was. Your child will be proud of you. They will be proud of you being a great example. It's not over for you as a black man. It's not over. You know what I'm saying? But the point of this segment is that you are the key to success in the black community. Black men, you are the key to success. God chose you to be a leader. You are the key to success, but you got to be righteous if you're going to be that key to success. If you're going to be that leader, you got to be righteous. You can't be going off. You can't be on drugs. You can't be doing all of the, going to strip clubs, doing all of these wicked things that everybody do. You got to get straight and get right. And you can be that key that changes our community overnight, right? Let me read this real quick. Check your comments. Black Dazzle, you want a shirt? You can inbox me on Thawahgabar on Facebook. I don't know if you're on Facebook. If not, on Instagram, you can inbox me at Black Authentic Truth. Okay, just inbox me. I'll get your size. I'll get what color you want. All of the good stuff. Right. Let me get back. Where was I at, y'all? Now, this is something I was thinking about because recently I saw a story where in LA, they have the no U-turn signs, and the alternative community was able, well, what right now they're taking down those signs in LA. They're taking down all of them signs because they're offensive to the LGBTQ. I'm not going to explain why they're offensive. But they have the power. They have with the politicians and everything, they're able to take these signs down. These are no U-turn signs, okay? And yeah, when it comes to black people, they have more power than us. Even though you think about the civil rights, you think about what we have gone through as people, and they can get a hate crime bill passed, uh signs taken down. Even with everything we've been through, we couldn't get that. We couldn't get a stop black hate crime bill. Even with the KKK burning crosses, none of that could happen for us. But they even have in as far as crime bills, I believe they're drafting one for Jewish people right now also. And they had to stop Asian hate crime bill. But I was just thinking about this community and I'm like, dang, they have more power than black people. And you just think like, dang, the civil rights movement was a failure because why we don't have that power, or let's just say that respect. We don't have that respect. We don't get that same respect as black people. You know what I mean? In the United States government or what have you, or whatever the case may be. But they're talking about a hate crime bill based on sexual orientation. Now, when people hated our ancestors, it wasn't based on sexual orientation. When our ancestors went into a swimming pool and somebody said, "You're not supposed to be here," it wasn't based on sexual orientation. When a young black man or boy is walking through a neighborhood with a hoodie on and somebody calls the police and says he looks suspicious, that's not based on sexual orientation. Mind you, he ends up getting killed, Trayvon Martin, right? When you get pulled over by the police and you don't have a blinker and you get out your car and run and you get shot in the back, has nothing to do with your sexual orientation. All of the things that I just mentioned is because what we look like, the color of our skin. And yet, we can't get a crime bill. We can't get no laws passed as a hate crime for us. And I said, damn, they got more power than black people. They got more influence than black people as far as people having to pay for what they do to us. And or for people, now y'all might say, okay, Karens and people that lost their jobs over saying the N-word or showing that they're actually prejudiced or racially prejudiced towards black people. And I will agree, but what I will add into that is that a lot of times, like, I don't know if y'all remember the story of Donald Sterling, the Clippers owner, that said something like he had a black young girl, and I guess she went to a couple of games with Magic Johnson. I think he said some derogatory things about monkeys or something like that, her being around them, right? And it came out, and you thinking like, damn, you got all these black players on the Clippers. This is during the time where I think Chris Paul was on the team, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Lob City. This is during that time, and they're like, damn. Matter of fact, they're making a show about the Clippers, It looked like it might be a little good though. I seen a preview or something like that. And I'm like, okay. But the point is that Donald Sterling he's Jewish. He was the owner, and people of this stature are people that run companies, are managers, or supervisors. When it's exposed to the mass public, they got to make an example of you. They don't want everybody to think that they talk like this and think like this behind closed doors, even though they do. So what they do with Donald Sterling, they just said he had to give up the Clippers. He couldn't be the owner no more, right? So when things like this happen, the point is what I'm saying is that, yeah, it does happen. People do lose their jobs, but what they're really doing is just making an example of these people just to, keep your confidence in America, to keep your confidence in the fact that, you feel like this is wrong. It should have never happened. But behind closed doors, they be all feeling that same way. They just don't say it. They can't voice it. But if you get caught on social media, if they blow you up on social media as a Karen, they blow you up on social media as a store owner or something like that, they have to make an example of you. So they want to keep everybody's confidence in the fact that, this is not regular. But we know what time it is. But the point I just wanted to bring out, and I think I solidified it and I made the point, was like these people have more power than we do as Black people. And that brings me to the pride of America. And I was thinking about that because not only was I thinking about, the month that we're in, Pride Month. And yes, even yesterday when I was out there, I said, you can't. And I got this from my brother, Itazam. Shout out to Itazam. I said, you cannot spell Pride Month without demon in the middle of it. And I said, hey, I don't know. I don't think it's a coincidence. Even if it was, it's perfect. Right. But I was thinking about the pride of America, of Americans. And I was thinking about, certain history and critical race theory and how they just don't have any shame. They don't have no shame. Like when you think about critical race theory, where they didn't want to teach the history of our people in the school. And let me just sidebar and say that when it comes to our history, I feel you as a parent, you as a Black person, it's your job to know and learn your history, unless you connect it to someone like me that, loves history and is a historian. It's your job as a Black person to teach your children, because you can't expect another people to give a care in the world to teach your children the real reality of how their ancestors were treated. You have to do it. A lot of times when I'm, just walking around like with one of these shirts or Black Authentic Truth, or in the shirt will spark a conversation. And in that conversation, I end up educating somebody of something they didn't know. And I always find that our people are very, and this is not in a disrespectful way, but I find that our people are very ignorant to how their people were treated, especially this new generation. You might find some people that are on it, they sharp with it. But I find that a lot of our people are very ignorant in it, and that's cool. I don't blame them for that, because a lot of us put our trust in the American education system, like it's giving you a good education. Hell, you can be in African studies or African American studies in college and still not know the things that I could teach you. Still not even have a clue. So the education system the education that they give us, they are ashamed of how their ancestors treated our ancestors. They said, you know what? we don't want to teach about slavery. We don't want to we don't want teachers teaching our kids about slavery, teaching our kids about what happened to the Native American Indians, teaching our kids about what happened to the Mexicans. You know why we don't want that? Because we don't want our children growing up with this complex in their head that they are inherently oppressors. Well, ain't that the truth? I mean, like, it's not like somebody is making up a story about the history of America by teaching about slavery, by teaching about Jim Crow, by teaching about all of the horrible things and atrocities that were committed by Europeans against brown people and black people. It's not like people are lying. So now we have to omit and we have to lie and we have to wipe out history so that your children can feel better. It's because Americans or America doesn't have any shame for what they did to black people. They don't have no shame. They are full of pride. They are so full of pride that when you bring out a story or you speak out against a current event that just happened, full of racism and bigotry, you know what they say? Instead of dealing with it, you know what they say? Go back to Africa. If you don't like it here, why don't you leave? They don't even want to deal. Now, if my ancestors as a black man, if I was told that my ancestors raped, robbed, murdered, killed people unjustly, stole land. This is a story about a pastor. He owned about 270 acres of land. I believe it's in Oklahoma, and I will bring it out. I don't have a Black Authentic True story, but I will bring that one out. This brother that was a reverend, not a pastor, he was a reverend that had land. Well, 6 white men decided that they wanted his land. They had heard that it was oil on this land. So they came and lynched him. Then they beat his son and told his son and the rest of the family to leave town and never come back. And they left and never came back. There's so many stories like that. There's so many stories that you would not believe. There's a story of on the border of Texas, one of the cities, Laredo, Texas. They found a mass grave of Mexicans. Tens of Mexicans buried during the time of the Texas Rangers. You know what the Texas Rangers were, right? Massacred. There's another one on the border of Canada with children in the mass grave from a boarding school. And all this was done by the descendants of Europeans. But you don't want us to teach about it because you don't want your children to feel bad for what their ancestors did to someone else. If it was me, if that was my ancestors, I would feel horrible. And I would try to make it right every day. And everything I got, all of my resources, I will extend them to these people who I have destroyed. I would not sit there and say, oh, these people, all they do is they're full of crime and they thieves and they do this and they do that. Why don't they just go back to where they came from? Maybe they're acting the way they're acting from years of being destroyed, from years of being oppressed, for years of being treated like a secondhand citizen. But, excuse me, they don't think that way. They're proud. They say, if you say something that's real and truthful, they say, why are you pulling the race card? Why are you race baiting? If you don't like it here, why don't you go back to where you came from? I'm here because your ancestors brought me here. And you don't like the truth. And so that's the pride I see with Americans, America. I see that pride that is very prideful. Very, very prideful. Don't want to admit no wrong. Only want to talk around the wrong and get around it and not deal with it. So like I don't let me see, Kev. Kev, you're gonna have to hit up someone else. This is not the platform for that, right? So I wouldn't know. So you want to hit up Thabawan, okay? You want to hit up Thabawan for that. I just want to remind people respectfully, brothers and sisters, this is not an actual class, okay? I may bring out some precepts and everything, but this is not. This is Black Authentic Truth. So I would say sundown, just off the top of my head. All right. Now I'm done with that actual story. Let me get to the next one. I'm gonna end with this, right? Let me see. What is one that I want? I'm gonna pull a precept. I am gonna pull a precept. Give me 1 second to get this. Put this title up. Should be good. Let me see. Kev, my apologies. No sweat, brother. It's not, it's no sweat. All right. I guess I deleted it. Let me see. Let me pull it up again. There we go. What is our major export to the world? That's the question. And I just got to remind y'all, like, I'm not going to have a Black Authentic Truth story tonight. Okay. I'll, Lord willing, I'll have one next week. Okay. So, what is our major export to the world? What is it that what service do we provide in exchange for another service from another people, right? What do we provide as a people? What is our export? Nations, different races, and a lot of this has to be tied to a land, because land is where you get all of your resources, your textiles, your timber, your gold, your what is it, oil. A lot of resources are tied to a land. But what is our major export to the world as Black and brown people in America? Like what is the thing that we give to the world? I'm going to explain, okay? The major thing that we give to the world, the major thing that we give to the world, what is it? Sports, rap music, R&B, twerking, sexualized dancing, acting. These are the major things that we give to the world as Black people. That's it. These are the things that people love us for. These are the things that we love ourselves for. But in the big picture, what it really just is entertainment. In the big picture, our major export is we make rap songs. And in those rap songs, we rap about violence. We rap about, I ain't going to say everything is bad, but we rap about the reality. And a lot of the times we get paid And we won't get a contract unless we rap a certain kind of way. You can see that with the brothers, you can see that with the sisters. Unless they talking about sex, sleeping around, twerking, that the other stuff don't get no airplay. Then you have sports. I think the game is tonight. I think it's a basketball game tonight. You have sports. Whole world wants to watch. Last night it was Tank and Frank, but the whole world gets behind us because of these things. Sports. What else did I say? I said rapping, acting, whether you rapping or singing, sports, movies, be sexual, being a video vixen, being an just objectifying your body. These are the major forms of export that we have. Those are the major exports of the Black community. And it boils down to one word: entertainment. We are the entertainment of the world. We are the people that entertain everybody else. And that's how we become rich and famous. That's how we become household names. That's how we become celebrities. That's how we are able to get a good life. That's what we strive for in the Black community. When you're raising your sons, you want them to go to the NFL. You put them in Pee Wee football. You put them in, AAU basketball. You want to get them to the point where they could be drafted and be an NBA star and be an NFL star. When you're trying to get out the hood and your songs hit somebody's ear, your whole objective is to get out the hood and get a rap contract. But in the big picture, that's what we have to offer to the world, is our bodies as a sacrifice. That's what we offer to the world, is our entertainment. No one else has to offer that. Why? Because they have a major export from where they're from. They have a community that's connected from where they're from. They have services. They have materials and textiles, whatever the case may be, in exchange for something. But we don't have that in the Black community. What we have is our entertainment. What our ancestors had on the plantation was their entertainment. I read it last week. The first Black boxer to become a champion came out of the plantation. He came out of white plantation owners betting money on him, standing around to fight like, yeah, get him, get him. That's your same crowd in the sports arena. That's your same crowd at a concert for a rap star. That's your same crowd when a sister is shaking it up and twerking. Our major export is our bodies. It's entertainment. That's all we have. Let me pull this scripture for y'all real quick. Now, I'm going to read from Psalms 137. Just give me. Let me read it real quick for you. It says, Psalms 137:3. For there they carried us away captive, required of us a song, and that they wasted us, required of us mirth. What is it? They wanted us to give them a good time, give them entertainment. They carried us away. We came over here on slave ships. We was brought over here as strangers in a foreign land. And then they turned us into entertainment. Now, when I say this, I want y'all to understand, I'm not saying it's anything wrong with how you eat and how you make a living. I'm just giving you an understanding of what happened with our people. and how we were fashioned into bodies of entertainment. Okay. It says, they required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Right? How should you be happy and be entertainment in a strange land? Well, nigga, if you want to survive and you want to live and you want to get out the ghetto, what they say, you got to do what you got to do. But we have been fashioned to be that way. And we have never thought about, we don't actually have nothing that we offer other than our entertainment value. We are looked at as entertainment here. That's why nobody actually takes our people seriously. But like I said earlier in this live, everybody loves it. Everybody loves the hat. Everybody loves the hat to the back. Everybody loves, the bling bling. Everybody loves to dress nice and like how Black people do and have the flavor that we do. They love how we look, even when we're in poverty and we're struggling, but they don't want to struggle. So with that, that's what I got for y'all today. I'm going to play a video. I got a video with my son. He interviewed some people yesterday at a Juneteenth event. I'm going to play that video. We're going to work. I'm going to work with him more on interviewing, but overall, I feel like he did a excellent job, and these are some good interviews. So let me pull this up for y'all. Let me see.
Why is it important for our people to know our history?
Because they need to know where they came from. Yeah.
Okay.
Know where they came from and they back roots, the roots. Yeah.
What message do you have for the young generation?
That they study more their roots and history and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
And keep it holy too, with God and stuff.
Well, first of all, I'm with Riverside All of Us or None. We work on civic engagement and advocacy work within our community. I think it's very important for us to know our history because of colonization. If we don't understand where we come from, the history of it, we don't know about it, and we can't teach our next generation exactly the history and what took place.
Yeah. What message do you have for the young generation?
The message I have for the young generation is look into your history, look into colonization, so that way you could stay educated and you could think about new ways that we could increase community relations with each other, so that way we could work and eliminate some of those barriers that exist for our people.
The first question is, why is it important for us to know our history?
It's important for us to know our history because if we don't understand where we come from, we don't know how far we can go.
Yeah. Okay.
In a nutshell.
Next question is, what message do you have for the younger generation?
What message do I have? Don't stop dreaming. Amplify your voices. Don't let anyone invalidate your feelings. You are important.
Why is it important for us to learn our history?
It's important because our ancestors died for us, and it's important to know where you came from and what's your background and your family. Like my family, for example, they are from Alabama. My great-grandparents was in the war. They died, and I'm 29. My baby, he's about to be 3, so I'm teaching him too. It's important.
Yeah. What message do you have for the younger generation?
Just stick together instead of fighting each other and tearing each other down.
Why is it important for our people to know our history?
It's important for our people to know our history so we don't fall back in the place that we used to be. So we understand our worth as human beings.
And so that history tends to repeat itself, so it's good to know our history and our culture because
We don't want stuff to repeat that's already happened. And we've already come so far with fighting for what we believe in and what we need, so.
To understand your worth as a human being and that you're equal to all the other races out there.
Don't let people treat you like a joke, because people tend to treat black people like a joke. So, like she said, know your worth and don't let people treat you like a joke.
Well, it's important for you to know your history, because history is very important to the fact that where you come from leads you to where you want to be. I would tell the younger generation to tap back into family resources, because your heritage is what will make you strong in the end. We need more unity and more togetherness in our communities. And this is what we are doing at Starting Over Inc. and all of us now. We are trying to tap into our youth and bring them back into community gatherings.
Why is it important for us to know our history?
It's important for us to learn our history so that it doesn't repeat itself.
What message do you have for the younger generation?
For the younger generation, stand proud, know your history, know what your ancestors had to go through to get where you're at today, and always keep hope alive.
Why is it important for us to know our history?
Oh man, a lot of different reasons. I think primarily because if you don't know your history, you don't know where you've been, and you have no way of building from where you are. Especially in this country where we're taught that we don't have much history, that our history started on a plantation. It's important to know that we built civilizations and kingdoms and empires, and if we don't know that, then we won't know how to move forward and rise up from where we still are.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I think the biggest thing for the youth today is to know that you are capable of anything if you put the work in. Also to resist some of the individualist tendencies that this country has. I think as a people we are a collective and cooperative people, and if we can come together and have some semblance of unity, we can move together forward instead of doing everything on an individual level. So know that you can achieve, and make sure that you support one another.
Yeah, that was actually good. I like some of the answers. I wish I could have been there. Tell me what y'all think. How did he do? We're gonna sharpen it up, and the next time he'll be all there. But overall, I think he did an excellent job, a good job for his first time interviewing people, right? So with that, y'all already know what time it is. I'm Thawahgabar for Black Authentic Truth. I will continue to try new things, develop new things, and just change and grow as I bring you these lives. With that, this is Black Authentic Truth.